Gotcha. All
So
right, no worries. Well, I'm recording this, so I continue the recording. No problem.
cool, cool. Sounds good.
All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to walk you through what I teach everyone else to do for Deal Sniper, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Sounds
Any
good.
place where you have a question, just cut me off. No big deal.
Okay. Sounds good.
So I'm going to
Actually,
pick,
can I
go
ask
ahead.
you a question real quick before I forget?
Sure.
Because I tend to do that. So I ran into is um there's houses that, look good, right, from the pictures, and I'll send out like an offer. And then
Okay.
like I had somebody call me back, and obviously he's an investor, right? He's a fix and flip, and he was like, "Oh, I've gotten a few of these. What's going on with this?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm assuming you have like hard money, on the property. So obviously that's not going to work for like a finance situation." So so apart from actually going through like the sell or the sold history of the property, is there a quick way to kind of filter that out potentially from, the filters, right? When you're setting those parameters up in Redfin?
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
unfortunately, it's just that's one of those things that Redfin doesn't have the ability to filter those out, or
Okay.
Zillow, or Realtor, or whatever you're using.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, the monthly's not going to cover the PITI. I'm like, okay, well, obviously there's a loan on it. So I was like, oh, you're probably hard money. He's like, yeah. So essentially, this is I think in Cincinnati. So I was just wondering because obviously they're not going to give up a property on terms, right? They would just rent it out themselves, you
Right.
know. Well, because if they're doing, well, this guy in particular was doing flips, but he also had buy and holds as well.
Hmm.
So I was just wondering if there's a quick way to differentiate that, but kind of just seems like you just kind of have to work through it.
Yeah, on Redfin, there's no way to filter those out, unfortunately.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we can jump into what you were saying.
Okay, so essentially, what I do, actually, what market are you going to be doing? I'll show you that specific market.
Yeah, so I've started in let's see, I've done some in Akron, Columbus,
All
and
right, what's the market?
Cincinnati, and then I just switched over to Missouri. So I think all in all, I've done about 65 emails, I think. Um,
Okay.
so just I was just trying a little bit in each one, just to kind of see the responses. So Missouri's cool, Kansas City is cool.
All right. So what I did, I went to St. Louis, Missouri, right? And again, this is for any market that you want to be in. The only filter that I ever do once I have this page up,
I'm
uh,
joining from my PC, so
oh, gotcha. Okay.
yeah, my Bluetooth gets kind of whack on my PC, so I just join on my phone for audio, and then but
No, that's all good. So
yeah,
once I have this page up and I'm
okay.
on for sale and everything else is blanked out, the
Hmm.
only filter I ever use, and Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, they all have it, is this here, time on
Okay.
Redfin. And I usually go to 90 days plus.
Okay.
So that gives me 392 properties that I can put offers in on. And then I just go through. So for this one, let's work with, let's do this one. This one looks good. So I'm going to click on the property. I want to see if it's in good shape. This one obviously is in good shape. LVP floor. The property looks staged. So that door looks new. The windows, that window looks original, but the house is brick. Everything looks good. And so I'm going to copy the address.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Deal Sniper. I'm going to paste the address. I'm going to hit search. And then boom, here's the property. So it has been on market for 155 days and they're selling it for $278,000. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. Does this property have a mortgage? I don't know. So I'm always going to put no.
Okay.
And then the next thing you want to do is clean up your numbers. So they're offering this property at 278,000. We're going to offer $305,000. I know it's at 307 and some change. I'm just rounding down. Regardless, even if I wanted to keep it at 307, I would make it 307. I would round my numbers out. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Got it. Makes
So
sense.
305, like, so this here, $21,552.30. That's a ridiculous down payment. I'm just going to do 20,000. I'm just going to use a little common sense. Monthly payment, who in the world wants $788.62? I'm just going to do
Right.
700.
So essentially, you're always just going to be rounding down.
Pretty much. And that's just
Okay.
me. Again, this was 307 and some change. I could have took it to 310. I could have taken it to 308. I
Got it.
round down because when it comes to wiggle room, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
100%. I agree.
So once my numbers are clean, meaning they all make sense. And here's the reason why I do that. Deal Sniper as a whole, scrubbing information, pulling data from non-disclosure states, it's great. It's a phenomenal tool. It really is. But when it gets to this part, it's just a calculator.
Sure.
And it's going to give you the exact numbers. So
Makes
we
sense.
don't, humans, you guys don't like that. You don't like exact numbers down to the pennies. It doesn't make sense. So, because you're thinking to yourself, why in the world would someone want $788.60 as a monthly payment? Why not just give me 800, 750? Well, it's a calculator. So
exactly.
Always fix your numbers. Whether you're rounding up or down, fix your numbers. Once this is done, then I'm going to go back to the property. I'm going to go right below the about this home, and I'm going to find who is listing it. This is listed by Irma Saller from Remax Integrity. I'm going to take that. I'm going to copy and paste it into Google, and I'm going to search it. And a lot of times you will find this right here. So see, it says there's our email address right there. So what I'm going to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. And if it didn't have her email address, it's got her phone number. You just call her. Hey, Irma, I've got an offer I'd like to put on to your Brooktop Court property in Missouri. Can you give me your email address? I'd like to send this over to you. They'll give you the email address. It's no problem. They'll just do it. So once you have the email address, you open up your email, generate a new email. You're going to go back to Deal Sniper. You hit this little button here that'll copy it. And then you're going to paste this exact email into your email. You're going to put Irma's name right here. You're going to put your contact information right there, and you're going to hit send. And if I wasn't teaching how to do this, it would take me 2 minutes per property.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
And then the only other thing that I do is I set up a Google Sheet. Now, you have a CRM, so you don't have to worry about that. But if I didn't have a CRM, I would just set up a very simple Google Sheet where I would have one column. The first column would be the date. The second column would be the address. Third and fourth column would be the realtor's name and email address. Fifth column would be the phone number. And the sixth column would be the offer, which would be this right here. So I knew what I offered. And then the last column would be the link to this listing, which would be right here. That way, if a realtor calls me back or if I want to follow up on a property, I can click on the link. Boom, I'm looking at it. I can open the Google Sheet and I've got my offer. I know exactly what I offered them. Now I'm ready to talk about the property.
Okay, cool. It's a good idea because I pretty much did address, but that could probably be the link there too. But agent, phone number, email, offer sent, yes or no, replied, yes or no, accepted, rejected. And then basically I just put financial overview, property information with a little note so that basically I could just grab it real quick if needed. Because I didn't want to drop anything in the CRM yet. I guess the question would be, at what point would I put that in the CRM? Like basically at the point that somebody seems to be like actually like responding, I would suspect, to kind of, filter out or to vet, if they're even interested or not.
If it were me, I wouldn't put it in the CRM unless the real estate agent respond positively,
Okay,
because then that's technically a workable lead.
got it. Yeah, that makes sense. I was emailing back and forth, and then this lady was like, "Oh, you're a wholesaler." I'm like, "Yes, I am." This and that, and she hasn't gotten back to me. So, I'll follow up with her. But yeah, like I said, um, or like you said, I don't, that's a good idea. I don't want to put anything in the CRM for like Chris, right? I don't want him to spin his tires on something that, we haven't even gotten the information on. The one that I think I had asked him about was it was just a cash offer. I didn't think it would be feasible, but I was just kind of more of like a proof of concept of getting things into the CRM, creating like the deal sniper like column or segment, and then yeah, it just didn't, going seller finance, right? There's a specific niche that we're looking for, you know, when and he was an investor too. Um, so it was another person that was doing a flip on it. So
Okay.
I think that's kind of what I'm starting to see a little bit more. That's kind of what led to my question. Is there a easier way, you know, to know if, something's been renovated by the owner to sell or actually like renovated by an investor to flip?
Well, a lot of times you can look at the property. So there are telltale signs that a property has been flipped in order to sell versus a property that's just been renovated since we've been living in it. Like this
Yeah,
property,
it's usually staged.
well, yeah, one, that's a big one. It's staged.
Yeah,
So that's usually an indicator. Another one would be the LVP floor, the
sure.
color pattern of the property, that usually it's white mixed with like an off gray or a light gray kind of color. If
Got
that's
it.
your trim, that's, telltale sign that's been flipped. A lot of times on the stove and microwave, they'll leave the stickers to show that they're new. Same thing with the dishwasher. But in this situation, I mean, I can tell just from experience that this is a flipped house.
Okay.
Just
Because
from
of
the
the flooring
floor,
and all that.
yeah, the new bathroom, the fact that the vanity is a new style, the toilet's a new style, the sink is a new style,
Hmm.
the shower doesn't have any soap scum on it. I mean, it's just there's a lot of
Right.
little things that add up to the fact that this is probably a flipped house.
Hmm. Brand new slab in the back.
Exactly.
So basically, you would, in your opinion and expertise, you just pass over it. It's not really a use case for the software of, something that's flipped, really.
No, and here's the thing, once you're looking at your property on Zillow
Hmm.
and you're, gonna move forward and put it into Deal Sniper's not gonna be able to tell if the house is flipped, but you can. So if the house is vacant or staged, then that's obviously gonna hedge your bet as far as if the seller may be open to creative financing because they don't need the full purchase price in order to move or put a down payment on another property.
Got it.
So I always tell everyone to target properties that are either vacant or staged for seller financing deals. Also, properties that are just in good shape. It's much harder to do a creative deal on a property that needs $40,000-$50,000 worth of work than a property that doesn't.
Right, exactly, for sure. Because usually, like, and I think that was kind of part of um, when I was talking with Chris, like basically the cash offer that he wanted just wasn't going to make sense for the flip that he had, obviously, because he put money into it. So
Right.
he wants to recoup that out, or there's underlying hard money loan versus like a traditional, conventional loan on it. And, he used a buy and hold as well, so he's not going to sell or finance something like that. It just wouldn't even make sense anyway. Um, but yeah, it just seems like it's a specific niche of, seller financing. And then basically that's going to force the hand if the agent comes back, oh, well, there's a loan on it. Why would you do seller financing? And then you can obviously go down like that flow chart path of
Yeah,
the
shift it to a
decision
subject
tree.
or a hybrid.
Got it. Mhm. So
So
basically, Mhm.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, just saying. So basically, just kind of keeping to the same market. Basically just the blend of Ohio, Kansas City, and then obviously in Texas. Um,
Correct.
I'm just going to keep to that. I haven't gotten to Texas yet, but just kind of working through that.
I mean, right now, our disposition team is seeing a lot of hot movement in Ohio, like we had that conversation last week. So
Okay.
I don't think you can go wrong in there, Missouri, or again, same thing with Texas. Same, you have the concerns of the sellers that we talked about from your CRM before in Texas. But if you can stick to Ohio for the most part, I think you'd be good, especially if you're using Deal Sniper.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I think I was trying to stick between Akron, Columbus, and Cincinnati. Um, is there any cities apart from those that you're seeing, you and your team seeing in Ohio?
Tucson and Phoenix are good. I mean, they're not in Ohio.
Right.
Cleveland in Ohio is doing well, but
Okay.
Tucson and Phoenix seems to be pretty hot right now as well.
Okay. For Deal
For cre-
Sniper.
creative
It,
deals in general, yeah.
okay. Okay.
Did you have any questions on what that process looks like? And then also, again, for you or anyone
hmm
else, if a realtor does respond in a way that you
hmm
don't know how to respond back, you always just let me know.
Okay.
I'll literally
Yeah, no,
interpret that message and then tell you exactly how to respond.
and just dump it in that the general chat, like the main chat, and just
Yeah,
say,
and then
hey,
just tag me in it.
okay, cool. And I think there was the cheat sheet for creative, like, cause somebody was like, are you a wholesaler? And I just kind of provided that verbiage that you had sent in there.
Yeah,
So
that works most of the time. I mean, what you're trying to convey is that one, you're not the end buyer, but you have a solid group of end buyers who look for deals like this, and that's why you're reaching out.
got it. Makes sense. So like if somebody, like for example, this lady, I reached out and I was like, yeah, basically put in I took out the proof of funds portion because she didn't really ask about that. But what would you recommend if like as a follow-up email, like, oh, just touching base, like, because I kind of reiterated again, I was like, hey, I am a wholesaler, like I'm not trying to, I'm like, to be fully upfront, I'm a wholesaler, but I have a strong buying list of 4 or 5 people that I know that would really move fast on this, and make sure you get paid, right? You want to kind of end with that to ensure that they get their full commissions.
Exactly.
Um, so in regards to like following up, would you just say kind of reiterate again, or
No, I
just
would more
say,
just keep it very simple. Just like, hey, just following up on my offer. What are you guys thinking?
okay,
Any
less is
interest?
more?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. And do you ever like if somebody's like, oh, not interested or rejected, do you ever like not call them out, or would you say, oh, thank you for showing the offer to your clients, or kind of call them BS, like it was a quick like rejected, you know what I mean? Almost like an automated like email kind of thing. Like,
No, and the reason why I tell a lot of people not to take any kind of offense to that is because a lot of times real estate agents have that conversation with their seller before the deal ever goes on market. So
got
they'll
it. Okay.
ask them, "Hey, are you open to this kind of offer or this kind of offer or this?" So when a realtor responds quickly, no, they're not interested. 9 times out of 10, it's not the realtor being difficult. It's the realtor knowing that they've already had that conversation with the seller and they're not interested.
Got it. Do you ever, on that rejection or just in general, do you ever just segue into, hey, do you have any other properties that, could use this type of solution? Or do you just kind of leave it as like as is?
It depends on the rapport that I've built with that realtor. I mean, if I have nothing to lose, I say go for it. If it's your first opening with the realtor and they say, hey, they're not interested, and you want to let them know, look, I've got a lot of buyers locally that are looking for seller financing deals. So if you know anyone, please let me know. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Nothing hurts, nothing's gonna, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so might as well.
Exactly.
And it's not like you're, being demeaning or, trying to be mean. It's just like, it's just like, hey, like, you're doing business, right? Like if you need help or like if you want to get paid, I can, you know what I mean? It's just the nature of doing business.
Exactly. I tell people all the time, like, just have a actual conversation with them. Hey, this doesn't work for your seller. Okay, cool. Do you have any other sellers it does work for? Because I have buyers that are ready to move. There's nothing wrong with that.
For sure. I think it's, people, that are like newer, you just kind of get in your own head more than anything.
That's all it is. Once people get past that part and just realize, oh crap, nobody's gonna break my knees if I do this wrong, and they'll
Right.
be fine.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's really awesome. I mean, from what I've seen from, sending it out, it seems pretty straightforward and, kind of being in the chat, seeing, progress from other people. Seems like a really good software, um, to leverage for on market deals.
Absolutely. And if you guys have any questions or need help with anything, I mean, you've got my cell phone number. You can hit me up directly.
For sure. And I appreciate that.
Not a problem. Is there anything else I can answer for you?
Um, Nothing specific for Deal Sniper, but if um for the house in Houston.